We've got the snap and a forward pitch and a tackle made. And you can see the pylon. These fields are 50 yards long. The end zones are 7 yards deep as the OGs begin with possession. A quick second down look out to the left flank. And the flag is pulled just before that front pylon as we introduce you to the Central Mass OGs. It's Alexavier Figueroa is wearing number 1. That catch was made by Caden Drinkwater. You've got Drew Alsop, number 2. Number 3 for Central Mass is Osiris Lopez. Braden Sanchez is number 4. Tanner Martin, number 7. Ryan Ricker, number 10. As Figueroa stares down, fires to the back of the end zone. And you've got Elite saying he was out past the back stripe. And so we'll redo it here. Out of bounds for OGs. Again, these end zones are 7 yards deep. And from this spot on the field, inside the 5-yard line, they can't run the ball. This has to be a pass play. Here comes the blitz. Figueroa with the pitch and the touchdown. Osiris Lopez. OGs waste little time getting on the board in the 17U championship.
Yeah, and what a play to spin away from the pressure on the blitz and flick it into the end zone for Lopez. A terrific opening drive for the OGs to get on the board.
Quick pump fake, evades the rush, and the easy finish. And now a strike to the back of the end zone. And OGs convert. Drinkwater hauls it in.
And the OGs up 7-0 to start.
And that's Alexavier Figueroa, who fires a touchback.
Also something to keep in note as well in this tournament format, it'll be running clock essentially the entire game until the final minute of the second half if the game is within 18 points.
This is Which City Elite. A pump fake, a fire, and a catch. What fantastic hands. That one's hauled in by Sharon White. Let's take another look at this one.
White got through the middle of that defense on the outbreaking corner and dives to bring it in.
Play action through the backfield. A short arm grip to the near sideline, and Elvis Espinal with the catch and a first down to move the chains. Again, you've got 4 plays to get it over midfield, and a successful first couple of plays there for Elite.
And with it going over the half mark as well, fresh set of downs to score.
Jake Lister, the quarterback, surveys, takes a strike, and a flag pulled just before the end zone. Split double coverage. He wedged it in there to Espinal. And again, we are in throwing territory here for Elite as the offenses have come out in impressive fashion. The snap to Lister. He rolls right, looks back left. Incomplete, tight coverage. We're live at Harvard Stadium. 300 teams, over 3,500 athletes. As a throw to the front pylon is good. Touchdown. Which City Elite breaks the plane with a quick response after the touchdown by the OGs.
Similar to the other end with the Central Mass OGs handling the blitz. Great work by Lister to sneak away and score.
A great out route touchdown drilled into Jaden Garcia-Peterson. And we've got an answer from Elite. And it's now up to the OGs here as we get to the second part of this first half. Which City Elite woke up today, Jess? 0-3, having been outscored by 48 points. They won their game this morning, and now they're looking to do it against a team with a counterpunch that hadn't been knocked off so far. Here's a great return and eventually a tackle made as Drew also brought back that kick.
Also showing off the shiftiness. Looked like that left foot as he planted it in the ground near the sideline, touched that boundary. Flag never got pulled, but out of bounds the call, so they'll get the start just beyond, or just before, I should say, midfield here.
Figueroa airs it out, goes up top, and a touchdown. Quick strike offense from the OGs. Osiris Lopez, 2 touchdowns here in the opening half.
So quick off the line. He beat everybody down the field and dotted him in the back corner. I mean, you couldn't have placed that any better. He only had about a yard to work with there. Toe tap, back of the end zone, touchdown.
Made it look easy, and a 1-pointer coming up here. This is Lopez in motion. And a blitz. There was false start. There was action on the line for the OGs. And the OGs knew it, throwing their heads back. Clock winds down here in the opening half.
You have to imagine they're pretty happy that they get a second chance at this with that clock still running, especially with the response that Which City Elite just threw at them.
This is a lateral back to Lopez. He drills one into the gut of Drew Alsop, who returned the opening kickoff of this drive and now caps off the conversion.
A nifty play to start. Had that linebacker in a weird spot. Elvis Espinal trying to communicate with his guys behind him, but the trickery from the OGs sets them up to score. Similar to that last drive, it was Espinal who came on the blitz. Couldn't figure it out because Figueroa too quick on the response. Twice now that he puts him in that weird spot, taking advantage of the defense.
After the false start, that was from 10 yards out, but that is going to be a 1-point conversion, even though it came from the 2-point conversion spot. That was the penalty. And for the OGs here before halftime, no real need to move quickly. You'd imagine that Which City Elite has called a timeout here to stop this clock, to give themselves a chance before halftime. You have 30 seconds between plays with this running clock. And here's the throw-off as Figueroa once again shows off a cannon, and a touchback brings it out to the 5. This is a Central Mass OGs team that has put up 20, 12, 28, and 32 points in their 4 wins yesterday. And 2 drives, 2 touchdowns here against WCE. So the score 14-7. Lister, a dump pass, and the tackle made as Matos hauls it in.
So the clock, you see it expire on your screen. It is being kept on the field by the officials. And that is really the only set clock that is being run off of for the game.
Deflected out of bounds. So while we do have 000s, you see the urgency here from WCE, knowing that time is counting down in this first half. A huge jump off the snap. Hunter Bedard timed that absolutely perfectly to get in on Lister.
I didn't see a flag come out. Lister's trying to say that he was offside because the jump was a little bit too good. I think that might have been what the discussion was, but it's not going to matter.
And now OGs have called a timeout, it appears. Again, we don't know the specific amount of time left on the clock here in the first half, but it looks like the OGs, they smell blood in the water. They want to get a stop here on third down, get the ball back, and then you can take a strike to the end zone. They already hit a jackpot Hail Mary on the last touchdown to Lopez. So in this first half, the only thing that stops the clock are timeouts or injuries.
So a terrific blitz from which city? Excuse me, from Central Mass on which city sets him up here.
A home run ball is hauled in for an interception. That's Drew Alsop, who picks it off downfield, comes up with a special defensive play.
Alsop along that far side boundary, tracks it the entire way. What a job to haul it in.
Intended target Elvis Espinal, but it was Alsop who was in a better spot to make the play than the intended receiver.
And you just mentioned the long ball they threw that last drive, and now the OGs have a chance to air it out again.
They've converted on both drives so far, and with alternating possession, Elite will get the ball to start the second half. We've already seen the arm of Alexavier Figueroa, who's making no mistakes about it, but he only has 6 seconds to get rid of the ball. This is Alsop, who makes one man miss, slices back to the middle, stays on his feet, weaves his way to the pylon, and a touchdown. OGs come up with a special play right before half.
You know, the NCAA college football game, they came out and the spin move was kind of an unfair. They had to tone it back down with some updates. I think we need to check on the left foot of Drew Alsop, because when he planted that, you saw it on the return. Watch him right here. When he puts his left foot in the ground twice on this unbelievable scamper to the end zone, he put a couple of defenders in a twister, gets right by him. Shiftiness on the lateral side from Alsop, and he gets it all the way down.
And the OG's thinking, we've got house money right now, let's go for two. Which City Elite has shown an inability to stop them so far, so let's see what this looks like. A fade to the back of the end zone, jump ball incomplete. 20-7, OG's on top of Elite as the clock presumably winds towards expiration here in the first half. This is the boys' 17U division. Coming up after this, it's the 13U on the boys' side, and we have, out of our 10 games here today, we have 3 girls' championship games that will be represented. 17U, 10U, and 14U. And so we've got just a couple of seconds to go here until halftime. And here it comes. Dropped down. And the final seconds tick off. So we begin the second half. He's just taught him, Adam Giardino, thanks to our entire crew, the first of 10 games on our showcase field, all championship affairs. And a drop down pass is caught by Oscar Fernandez. This ranges from 17U all the way down to the 6U, and every age group in between. This is Lister with the pump fake, and he finds his man. The tackle is missed, and a reach for the end zone. No signal yet, and a tackle was made in the field of play.
Just before the goal line. Again, in flag football, you're not allowed to dive forward. You can only jump into the air as you're moving. So hinders the ability of Matos there to extend towards the goal line, but a terrific job from Lopez at the last second to pull the flag.
Fires to the back of the end zone. Espinal with the touchdown. So Elite opens the second half in a way that they needed to. And now the decision by the OGs to go for two at the end of that first half. Failed to get it. We'll see what that prompts the Elite to do here.
Another look at the full play. Lister moving right on the bootleg, finds Espinal on that quick out route. Nice communication between those two. It's been a consistent connection.
This is a one-point conversion, and it's in at the goal line. That's Jaden Garcia-Peterson. Hauled in a touchdown earlier today, now converts on the extra point.
Peterson crosses that entire formation, gets the middle of the defense mixed up.
Second half well underway here, and the throw-off is hauled in by Lopez as he leaps forward and the tackle is made. So this is good field position in that you only need just a yard or two to get that first down. So you can take a couple of strikes deep, and then if nothing comes of it, then you can just go for the drop-off pass.
And I would imagine we will see a couple of those here.
Xavier Figueroa has shown off a worthy right arm as he drops back. Plenty of space. The catch is made. And now here's a massive lateral to switch fields. And the tackle made right at the center cut. That's the first major lateral that we've seen.
Drew Alsip ran into a crowd. He drew more than half of the defenders on the field. 5-on-5, he's got 3 of them in a tight area, so he just laterals it all the way across to Hunter Bernard. It was actually Osiris Lopez who got caught up in the crowd, but what a heads-up play from him just to get it to an open teammate, keep the play going.
Here's a quasi handoff, and the tackle's made just before the pylon. Some good defense played today in terms of making the tackles. If you miss that tackle, that's a touchdown. It's a score-saving tackle made by Which City Elite. The OGs have to go to the air here. Figueroa fires left, a bit of a no-look. Zip over to his far side, and Caden Drinkwater couldn't make the catch.
All 5 defenders from Elite just hanging around that goal line area. Don't want to let anybody in behind them. The play they just ran to score their own touchdown on the offensive side, all those crossers to get everybody mixed up, not falling forward on the defensive side. Very well executed by those 5 out there.
A look at Xavier Figueroa, the field general. A hard pass hauled in right on the money to his man Drew Alsip, who joins Osiris Lopez with 2 touchdown catches for the OGs.
And Antonio Bennett can't believe it for Elite. Look at him right here. And he was there a second after the ball was delivered to Alsip. Like he had glue on his hands. The second it connected, he hauled it in. And what a bullet pass from Figueroa to get it there. Tiniest of windows.
And after failing the 2-point attempt at the end of the first half, they go for another 2-pointer here. To the back of the end zone and out of bounds. Incomplete, intended for Drinkwater.
What an acrobatic catch that would have been if he found a way to contort his body to get all the way around and inches away. I mean, you're talking about maybe even centimeters, millimeters. That toe touch just came down on the line, but what a job to bring it in nonetheless, having some fun out there for the OGs.
For the Elite, obviously important for them to score here, Jess, but then if they do, on the other side of it, the OGs have gone down and scored 4 touchdowns on 4 drives. You just need, if you're able to score here, to find a way to get a stop.
Started the half on a really good note, did the elite. Espinal and Lister connected a few times to lead them all the way down the field. Is that where they go back to here?
Clap of the hands. Pump fake. Lister finds a safety valve. And the tackle made as Luka Matos has been the old reliable for Which City Elite.
They tried to use him as a decoy. You see him here. Matos came back underneath, but initially Lister pump faked his direction on a short hitch route, trying to find the go deeper down the field, but came back to it when it was covered long.
WCE gets the first down right at the 50-yard line.
Looks like they'll give him the spot over it, Adam. So a fresh set of downs here, much needed for Elite. Now they'll have 4 to score.
A blitz and a quick pitch over to Matos. They turned what could have been a sack into positive yards there. Clap of the hands. And a throw to Matos, again, who's been that reliable target, but incomplete there.
Lister's looked really confident this half. Meandering that pocket, finding some openings.
No pressure, but he's got 6 seconds to fire. He does. It's caught. Sharon White, who made a fantastic grab in the first half, comes up with one there.
Just finds that tiny little opening on the crosser route back across. Starts right, comes back left.
This is 4th down here for WCE. I'm not so sure that they haven't called a timeout. Obviously, we see what the clock is doing on our screen, and the clock freezes with a minute to go anyway. They sense blitz. A jump ball to the far sideline, and flags come in. Suffocating defense by Drew Alsop, but it's likely going against him. Smiles between Alsop and Matos. Seems like Matos might be saying, I thought it was pretty good defense. Open, touchdown, but a flag. Espinal, if it stands, gets his second of the day.
I think they're going to get the defense for a hold in the end zone, so this should stand. Lister showing off that sidearm cannon to his teammates on the sideline. What an out route from Espinal.
So right now it's 26-6, which a conversion here is important because it could take some pressure off of Elite if they get the ball back and go to score. Lister to the front of the end zone, incomplete. And so it stays a 6-point game here, 26-20 with under a minute left. And it brings up an onside play that we could be seeing here and probably will from Elite. The onside play is in effect only with 1 minute left in the game, and if the losing team is down by 3 scores or less. The onside play is that if WCE chooses it, they will get 1 play from their own 5-yard line, and they'll need to get a pass that converts over midfield. And then and we are getting confirmation that the onside kick is coming here. So essentially the onside play, you need a 45-yard or a 25-yard play here essentially if you're Which City Elite.
OGs have done a pretty good job on defense of not giving anything up long, so it'll be interesting to see how they defend this. Maybe use their speed, keep everything in front of them. I mean, that interception we saw during that first half was one that got sent long, and Alsip ran it down along the sidelines and got all the way ahead of the receiver in front of him.
So not total prevent defense being shown here. OG's bringing a couple of bodies up closer to the box. A wobbly duck is intercepted. And a touchdown back the other way. Pick six has very likely sealed it for the OGs.
Ending it in style. Tough break for Jake Lister. Ball just came out weird, and because of that, couldn't put it where he wanted. Looking on that seam route through the middle, but taking advantage in terrific position. Pick six for Caden Drinkwater.
Central Mass OGs have multiple touchdowns from Drew Alsip and Osiris Lopez. And now here's Drinkwater after his pick six, trying to throw a jump ball up, getting everybody involved. Incomplete. It stays a 12-point game here. The next game we have coming up is the boys 13U at the 19th Annual Summer Showdown. We're going to roll from one right into the next. We will hear from Morgan Bedard, our intrepid sideline reporter, with our player of the game. The conclusion of this one. Got a bunch of candidates to pick from. Figueroa with 4 touchdown passes. Again, Alsip with 2 touchdown catches. Lopez the same. But then it was the game-clinching pick six by Caden Drinkwater. Final 30 seconds here. And the tackle made shy of midfield. WCE trying to move quickly here. The clock at the bottom of your screen is unofficial. Out of bounds to stop the clock in the final minute of the second half. So maybe not as all lost quite yet for WCE. They need a quick touchdown, and then they would, in theory, try for that onside kick again. Here's a strike down the middle of the field, and the tackle is made in play. Oscar Fernandez is taken down. Each team with 2 timeouts at their disposal in each half. So you've got the opportunity to carry those over. We don't know exactly how many timeouts WCE used in the first half. They could have as many as 4 timeouts here in the second. A jump ball lofted up and a one-handed catch. Hauled in. What a play by Elvis Espinal.
Look at the 13U boys waiting for their game in the background, getting just as hyped as everybody on the field for the 17U game with Elvis Espinal. Watch this with the left hand. Might have gotten away with a grab there. The jersey doesn't matter. Elevates and reels it in, and then gets to celebrate with his team and the boys behind him.
And that's a taunting penalty. Yep, absolutely.
It's also a really tough place to take that, though, because now you're putting your team in a spot that's going to back you up. So an interesting one. Who knows? Maybe you can go up and grab another one to make up for it.
This is a 1-point conversion. And it's good. Fired into a mass of bodies, and it's Luca Matos who pulls it in. It's 32-27 right now, and we will see another onside kick attempted by WCE. Maybe we spoke a little soon, saying it was a game-sealing pick six by Caden Drinkwater.
And Lister has been able to thread the needle a couple times in it plays, but that last one on the pick six, again, it just came out funky from his arm, and that's really what set that up for the defense. So again, the onside play, you start at your own 5, you need to get over midfield to be able to get there. So roughly about this area, starting with this pylon and across the field, connecting those two is where WCE needs to get to on this play in order to keep the ball.
We've got a free safety lurking, and they're going huge on a jump ball. It's picked off. We do have a flag on the play. And another flag on the play. On the celebration, we'll wait and see what that first flag is, though, Jess.
I believe it's going to all be, in terms of on the field, a moot point because the flag is going against the offense there. Got to give some credit, even with the taunting call, kind of creative, throwing it up.